Folks, I have exciting news. Today, we bought a zoo. Zodiac, whatever. Intro's over, let's get on to the game. Hello folks, I'm the Ghost Knife and welcome back to more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and today's episode we are revisiting the Dual Triangle one more time, and this time we're going to be using the Dual Triangle to give an archetype a go. I have been very slowly in the background building a deck that is an old archetype, that is an XYZ archetype that my friend Nell was like, yeah, no, you should definitely try this. It's wacky, it's crazy, it can do all sorts of fun nonsense, and as you can see, that archetype is very clearly Zodiacs. Now, if you've never seen this archetype, it's an older XYZ deck that specializes in using one monster to XYZ a bunch of monsters on top of each other until essentially you make this monster Trident, which can pop your opponent's cards every turn and do some obnoxious nonsense, or even go into Zodiac Borbo, who can just keep attacking your opponent directly with a big ass card that they can't really deal with. It's a cool and interesting deck. However, I have been struggling to master exactly what the deck is supposed to do. So in order to give myself a trial by fire, I decided to try Zodiacs in a watered down version of the deck that I am currently playing and practicing. And for the event, because we can't use adventures, I decided to use this very wacky Zodiac brew. We've got some dolls cards for the doll package for doll happiness, just to help make UDF a little bit more easily with a Bear and Miss Madchen. We've got Utopia and Utopia Double, because there was an instance where I really needed to beat over something and I just couldn't, but Utopia Double helps you get over those really tall and hard to deal with monsters that you can't destroy with like Trident or Zeus. Oh yeah, we also have Zeus because it's just a really good card in this deck in particular. And we have the aforementioned Utopic Draco Future. We also have the newly unbanned Zodiac Barrage, which is crazy good in this deck and a great way to get things going. We have some interesting removal cards. I know Raigeki looks weird, but we had a game where Chaos Angel just messed us up and we got PTSD Vietnam flashback from that. So yeah, this is a very wacky Zodiac build. It might not be that great, but it looks like a lot of fun, and it gives us a chance to show you just how powerful Zodiacs can be even in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! Can they stand up to the Dual Triangle event? Let's find out. Alright, here we are in our first game with our Zoo Princess deck. I named it that because originally we had Cologne in it. This deck went through a few iterations before our last result, but it doesn't matter. We're going to start with our main combo line, which is Thoroughblade, discarding Ram. This is a very powerful start because Ram Engrave basically means we can get UDF. So we're going to go ahead and use Thoroughblade to do our first XYZ monster, which doesn't typically matter. You can do Tiger Mortar, but the main thing is you want to end pretty much on either Borbo or Trident with this deck, because those are your two most powerful XYZ monsters. Hammer Kong is just there to be used as material every now and then for other bigger cards that want more materials. Chakanine is great for extending our plays. Do not mind the Time Thief Redoer. He did not make the final cut for a very good reason. I just thought, oh, I'm playing the dolls. Why not play him? He's fun. He's silly. Tee-hee, I'm quirky. Anyway, so Tiger Mortar is going to go ahead and get XYZ'd into Chakanine, which Chakanine is going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of Tiger Mortar to resummon the Ram. Then we're going to go ahead and use Chakanine as material for Trident, and this is your main way of making UDF with this deck. You summon Trident, you pop the Ram, which even though its effect was negated in the graveyard, it is not negated. Now you can use this to bring back the Tiger Mortar that you got rid of earlier, or whatever you want it to be. And then with Tiger Mortar or Trident or whatever it was, you summon Utopic Future, and from there you should know what comes next. He's big, he's bad, he's far too shiny, the Utopic Draco Future. And from here we have a very powerful card. It can't be destroyed by battle, cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it can help us by negating our opponent's cards and then stealing them, because Utopic Draco Future is a very silly XYZ card. And we also have an Ash to give us a little bit more control. This is a pretty good board. And of course, my opponent does Reinforcement of the Army. And wouldn't you know, yet again, it looks like I'm playing heroes because my life is miserable and I can't escape this deck 13 years later, and then they're gonna emergency call, and of course it's gonna be frickin' heroes. What else would it actually be? Live commentary was not really fun because I had personally played this deck like 4 or 5 times throughout our recording session of all the decks we did for the Duel Triangle, and I was just done. But yeah, my opponent is going to go ahead and they're going to polymerization, and they're going to avoid using Stratos, which I was like, dude, come on. And they're going to summon Sunrise, and I did not fully read UDF. There's a reason I was telling you can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. It's because, well, heroes with this board can't actually do anything to UDF. So even though I was miserable because I'm tired of seeing these stupid heroes a million times a day, this is like, the heroes are like how Bish Vulcan was to Coder, heroes are to me, okay? That is how I'm gonna put it. Anyways, my opponent's gonna get all their nonsense cards, Miracle Fusion, yeah, get your broken cards out of here, please and thank you. They're gonna go ahead and some of their Elements of Hero Liquid, bring back Stratos, and this is when we do the funny thing, because they're gonna go ahead and grab Neos, and they're gonna polymerize, and I was going to use UDF on Stratos, but again, I kind of waited on it, and then they played this card, and I was like, okay, now I have to UDF, because if they get their effect off, they get their favorite hero, and that's just a nightmare to deal with. So I'm gonna go ahead and UDF. Give me that card. You don't need it. I'm gonna flick it over to my side of the board, then I'm gonna swatch with the frickin' eyes with it. I'm gonna hit you in the nose with it. I'm gonna throw it like a throwing star, which isn't accurate. Who cares? Anyways, there's something Brave Neos. Oh boy, it's Brave Neos, which doesn't do anything. They're gonna destroy their flame, whatever, garbage card. They're gonna go ahead and get that Neos Fusion that they just grabbed and summon Grand Mole. Grand Mole allows them to shuffle our UDF back, and this is when I stopped laughing. This is when the what was that? The Ukrainian folk music stops playing? Whatever that meme is from The Witcher. Yeah, the music stopped and I was like, oh shit, I actually can't deal with this, because, you know, why wouldn't heroes have a million outs to a million problems? Their Grand Neos goes away, they have all their monsters, and I'm like, what do I do here? Thankfully, none of these things have a way to actually avoid being blown up. And Zodiacs, if there's one thing this deck can do, it's make a big XYZ monster. We draw into the Harpy's Feather Duster, give him the big old middle finger, get the hell out of here with your stupid protection nonsense. You got nothing to stop what's coming. We're gonna go into the big Hammer Kong. Hammer Kong is gonna immediately get the hell out of here. And then it's gonna be a cute tiger girl on a mortar cannon, which is what everyone wants in their lives. Cute tiger girls with gigantic cannons. We're gonna go ahead and put Whiptail on the tiger mortar, because Whiptail can do that. Whiptail's a cool card. We're gonna go ahead and put the bunny on there. It's a bunny, it's a Whiptail, it's whatever the hell Thoroughblade is, all stacked up on one cart. Just kidding, now they're inside a giant, whatever the hell shotgun name is. Just kidding, now they're a gigantic trident. Or trident, my bad. Not a trident. And from trident, we make everyone's favorite, Borbor. That's right, we didn't go into Zeus. We went into Borbor first. Why? Because Borbor can attack our opponents directly, and if it has 12 materials when it flicks battle damage to your opponent, we can just send as many of their cards from their hand and field to the graveyard, and then change Borbor into defense position. Can we ever get to 12 materials? I don't think we can do it with this deck, but I'd love to do it one day. Anyways, we're going to attack them directly for 3,600 to the dome, why not? And then from here, we're going to make a very big, very angry Zeus. I am here, taste my lightning, and with that, with my opponent completely drained of all their resources, with a gigantic Zeus staring bullets into their eye holes, my opponent runs away, not like a hero, but like a damn coward. Moving on. Okay, here we go. More of our nonsense. Our opponent is going first, and they do the most intimidating thing they can do. Set a face-down monster, set a card, and pass. Now, I know, after a lot of the nonsense with Sword Soul and Branded that I've played with this event, I shouldn't be worried about this, but I'm worried. Because there's some small part of me that's going, please, dear God, do not be playing some weird Trap Tricks deck. We're going to draw into our Feather Duster. Thank goodness. And we're just going to sweep all that nonsense out of there. It's a called by. That doesn't tell me what my opponent's playing. We're going to go ahead and use Shot. Normal summon Ram. Try to use the Barrage. Not Shot. Barrage. We're going to try to use Barrage to pop Ram. And of course, my opponent is cringe. And they Ash Blossom my Barrage. Which makes my life infinitely harder. Because now I'm going to have a harder time getting into UDF. Whatever. We're going to use Ram to make Hammer Kong. E-E-U-Ah. Then, of course, Hammer Kong is going to go into everyone's favorite mortar, Tiger Mortar. That did not roll off the tongue. Anyways, we're just going to keep moving past it. Keep going on. Who cares? Go into Borbo. And from here, we're going to do the most intimidating thing. Ping you for 400 with Borbo, with authority. Oh, and then I'm going to make Zeus afterwards. Because, you know, big middle finger to you, buddy. It's okay. We have Zeus Pops. We also have Impermanent Hand and an Ash Blossom. Because you don't deserve to have fun anymore. My opponent is then going to be playing their Crimson Gaia, and I'm just going to ash that. I do not want them adding something. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. Get out of here. No one likes that card. Please and thank you. Then my opponent flip summons Witch of the Black Forest with their Synchron Resonator for Samsara, Dragon of Rebirth. I have never seen this card till now. What this card does is it makes me have to play around a little bit more awkwardly, because when we destroy this, they can special summon something which can let them go off with the Resonators. They're going to go ahead and get a Soul Resonator with Witch of the Black Forest, which, by the way, if you haven't seen this card 13 years, you'll know that 13 years ago, this card was a lot scarier because it didn't have half of the text on there. They have really limited this card, and it blows my mind just how much they hated Witch of the Black Forest out of this game. Rest in peace, you miserable woman. I'm glad you're dead. Anyways, that's 12 years of grief. Don't mind me. My opponent is going to be... I'm going to be playing Rapier, and my opponent is going to effect Valor. On our first turn, they kept having stopped every 5 seconds, and I'm like, what the hell could they have? And it's effect Valor, and they're going to effect Valor Rapier because they're cringe. We're going to go ahead and use Barrage to destroy Rapier to summon our Thoroughblade, go ahead and discard our Bunny Blast, and draw into one of our useless doll monsters that does nothing right now. No, I'm not mad. You are. My opponent, I'm going to then go into Chakanine. And from there, we summon Trident, and Trident can do what she always does. She takes her big Trident, and she slaps that stupid spell right out of your back row. We're going to attack with Zeus. Just get it over with. What you're summoning. Samsara is going to re-summon Witch of the Black Forest. And then they scoop. And that's why Zeus and Trident are cool. Or some nonsense like that. Next replay. Alright, folks, we are going into our next game here, and we have a much better hand than we did. This is almost like the exact same hand we had last time. What is it, my birthday? Did I win a coupon at my favorite restaurant? We're gonna Barrage. We're gonna pop Ram. There is no Ash Blossom to stop us. Don't stop me now. Going to Cat Roost. We're gonna go ahead and not stop coming. Tiger Mortar. From the Tiger Mortar, we do the next best thing. Chakanine. You know what Chakanine is gonna do? She's gonna bring back that Ram we got rid of earlier. Goodbye, Tiger Mortar. Hello, Ram. You adorable little Ram girl. And hello, everybody's favorite Trident. With her big old Trident. I don't know if she's like a dragon or what her nonsense is. Oh, she's a dragon. Cool.
Yeah, they're all based on the Zodiacs.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense since they're called Zodiacs. Yeah, they are based on the Zodiac. I should see that coming. Anyways, we're going to go back to Utopic Future. I'm almost going to set Infinite Impermanence and forget what I need to do, which is go into UDF, but it's fine. We're going to go right into UDF with no problema whatsoever. Setting an Imperm with the UDF and a Barrage on board. This feels like a pretty sick board. My opponent immediately puts the fear of everything in me and normal summons a Shaddoll into Super Poly, and this is when my life flashed before my eyes. Goodbye, UDF. Of course, hello, El Shaddoll Construct. Now, I wasn't around during this deck's peak, but I've heard horror stories of just how powerful Shaddolls are, so This has given me some PTSD flashbacks. When my opponent makes a slight misplay, they chain the construct's ability second, which allows me to imperm the card. Get rid of that nonsense. You don't get that card. They're gonna pop my imperm. Doesn't matter at this point. They're gonna smack me with the El Shaddai construct with one back row, and it is now my turn. And we draw another Whiptail, which is not that great, but it's fine. We're gonna use the Whiptail, which I believe is the snake, to go into Hammer Kong, and my opponent, seeing the writing on the wall, seeing that we are probably going to be going into Zeus, decides to unplug their internet and take the coward's way out. You can't escape the Zodiac. We are your astrology signs, or whatever. I am Cancer. Let's go. Here we go into our next game here with a pretty nice looking set of sleeves and board on my opponent's end. We're going to go ahead and summon the Rap here. Just do some normal Zodiac stuff. Why is Rap here so cute? And why is it also banned to 1? I don't know. Tiger Mortar time. You've seen this combo a few times now, folks. Of course, we're going to be going Tiger Mortar, Chakanine. Now from here, we got to do some kind of wonky things. Oh, wait, no, wait. We have Ram and Graveyard. So now this isn't that game. Just belay that. We're going to go ahead and summon Trident. We're going to do what we've been doing for a while. Use Trident. Pop the Ram. You know where we're going with this. So we're going to get back Tiger Mortar and all of her cuteness. We're going to go ahead and pilot the Tiger Mortar and Trident into a gigantic mech called Utopic Future. And from Utopic Future, we're going to do what everyone wants to do. We're going to make a Dragon Future because everybody but me loves dragons. Hooray. Robot Scalies are online. We slam down an Imperm. What an excellent board for Zodiacs. And my opponent plays Ice Jade Agronine. We've played Ice Jades a few times. We don't have a great tracker record against them for this event, but it's fine. We're going to give it a go with Zodiac and see what they can do. We're going to Imperm this. Not really reading the card, and apparently when it's targeted, it just doesn't care. And it's like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. And then we're going to Spite UDF this. Because if there's anything Ice Shades want, it's monsters to get their synchro off. So if we just steal this, it has to do something to them, right? So we steal their Ice Shade monster after wasting an Imperm on it. And apparently that's enough to stop Ice Shades. Yeah, Ice Shades are worse than Zodiacs. Write that down. Alright, folks. At this rate, you've seen what Zodiacs do. You've seen they basically go into UDF, and that's their main thing. But what if I told you that our main event, our final replay, is going to showcase all of the wacky nonsense, including our dolls, with our very weird Zodiac deck, with this very awkward hand. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start with Doll Happiness. We're going to grab the Box of Friends, summon the Box of Friends, then we're going to play Zodiac Barrage. Now, normally, you don't need Doll Happiness and Zodiac Barrage. Basically, we're using Doll Happiness to grab Box of Friends so we can normal summon it, and then afterwards we destroy it, and then we can use that to go into like one of our actual Zodiacs the hard way, which is to level 4 monsters instead of them doing what they normally do, which is only using one material. But in this situation, we are very blessed because we have Barrage, which we can use to destroy our Box of Friends, to normal summon Ram, which then gives us both of our doll monsters, which then allows us to hard cast a different monster in Chakanine. We're going to summon Chakanine here. We're going to summon Hammer Kong, which doesn't matter because all that really matters is that we have 2 XYZ monsters, which means we're going into the Utopic Future, which means, ladies and gentlemen, using dolls with Zodiacs, we have gone into Utopic Draco Future. And the best part is we still have Chakanine, 2 Borbos, 2 Tridents, and 2 Tiger Mortars, just in case we need it. By using these really silly, wacky doll cards, we save resources to potentially loop ourselves in combo if we need to do it later. And this is why we use the dolls in the first place. This is when they pay off finally, baby! Now, Utopic Draco Future with a Hammer Kong, and Chakadine with the Utopic Future. My opponent is going to play Wanted, Seeker of Sinful Spoils. Even in the damn Dual Triangle, I can't get away from Snake Eyes. I thought this was going to be a fun time. My opponent, here at the end game, decides they want to be cringe. And they want to take this meta deck into the Dual Triangle. What the hell they're going to do with these Snake Eye cards, I'm not quite sure, but let's go ahead and see what they're going to do. They're going to summon Diabellstar, activate Diabellstar, and walk right into a UDF. Did you really think that Snake Eyes nonsense was going to work here? Get out of here. Give me that. You don't deserve that anymore. Give me that. It's my Diabellstar now. And my opponent, from there, with all of their plans thwarted, is then going to try and TG all clear. And one thing we didn't go over in our little deck tech is this little nifty card here. I didn't believe in this card, but no, certain somebody said we should run Tiamaton. We should run Tiamaton. And I didn't believe in them. And I don't know much about TGs, but as it turns out, this is kind of one of the really important cards of the deck. We have a Dull Happiness that we wrote off as kind of a bad card. Well, it turns out when they have a TG all clear and I have a Dull Happiness in the same zone, well, that's two cards in the same zone. All you got to do, because we have three in the same column with Diabellstar and Drago Future, is just, you know, activate Tiamaton, which is now totally relevant. And all it costs us is the Dull Happiness we didn't care about, but it's going to cost them a continuous spell. And from here, my opponent is still going to show their hand. It's TG Snake Eyes. So they took all of the Link monsters out of the deck and put in a Synchro engine. Because, you know, game design. Anyways, my opponent obviously can do some nonsense from here. They're going to go into Hyper Light. That's an Overdragon there. What the hell is that? Okay, well, they Synchro Summon. Oh, they can summon they can summon a bunch of TG monsters from their graveyard. 1, 4, 4, that's 9. No, they're going into 5. Hyper Librarian now. The hell's a Star Guardian? Okay. Once per chain during your opponent's main phase, we can. Okay, yeah, that's. We're gonna target. Put a TG back in our hand. Okay. Special summon from the hand. Make it 2 levels. That's 10. What are we gonna see? We're TG Blade Buster. I don't know what my opponent was playing. I think my opponent might have made a mistake. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that for our main event, our opponent tried to Snake Eye us, and with just a pinch of luck, a few dolls, and a very funny dragon, we thwarted all of their nonsense plans. With that, we go to our wrap-up. We took our shot, might have taken a few shots, a barrage, if you will, of shots, with the Zodiac deck, and we have come out of the end of the event, and my thoughts are I'm frustrated. We've been recording a lot today, and it might have affected my mentality for my last few games. I got really angry in one of my losses, and I'm glad we did replays, because live commentary was not fun to sit around in. But my thoughts on the actual Zodiac stuff is it's really cool, it's fun, it's very, very different for an XYZ deck, and it makes me want to try other kind of towers decks like this. Mainly Pearly, if it wasn't, like, banned and limited to all hell and back. But yeah, no, I like Zodiacs. I think this is a cool and interesting deck, and I'd like to see it on full power with, like, Rat Pierre unbanned to, like, 2 or even 3. I don't know. Well, Nell seems to think that'd be a little bit too much, but I'm like, nah, release the Rat Pierre. It wants to be free. So yeah, the doll stuff, we didn't get a lot of value, but there was that one game where we got to use them to get UDF, which was super cool. Tiamaton didn't get too much value, but again, that one game, it did do a lot of work, so I don't know. Maybe this was a very mad scientist kind of Zodiac build, but I had a lot of fun with it in the end, and even with the frustrating games that we had, I did enjoy playing Zodiacs. It is an interesting deck that I do want to learn and hopefully master, and maybe I can use it to get out of Platinum one day if I ever, you know, consistently play this game for more than 3 minutes. So thank you for tuning in, folks. You have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed these games, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your game. Now get the hell out of here.